What's up, y'all? It's 10-3 time in Tennessee. How are you? Hope you're well. Wes Rucker coming to you from WBIR's, I would say world headquarters, technically. Is it technically WBIR world headquarters?
I only know of one WBIR, so yes, that would be our world headquarters.
WBIR world headquarters.
If there's
here.
another WBIR out there, apologies to you, But
Well,
we're claiming it.
If so, we'll meet you out in the parking lot and we'll fight it out and we'll see who ends up with the title.
Yeah.
I bet it's going to be us.
I think we win.
I bet it's going to be us. Coming to you on this Wednesday, Hump Day, December 17th, 2025. I hope everything in your life is going well. I hope you're knocking things off of the Christmas list. Hope you're nearly complete at this point. I absolutely am not. A little bit behind this year, if I'm being honest. Just a little bit behind. Although, I did last night. Can I tell you, Tom Barclay,
Sure.
what real men do, real men of strength and brawn and genius?
Go for it.
When they come home from a really long work day. Now, it's not working in the mines, it's not working in the fields, but a good, honest, 14-hour work day, get your stuff done, go in there, you're pulling a double, you're doing the stuff, you come home, and you have to slay a beast moments when you walk in the door to protect your house and home.
You got an infestation or something? Like, what's going on there?
It was a mouse. And
come on.
Hey.
Come on.
Hey, took care of it. All I'm saying is, listen, 2 entered, 1 left.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And again, it's not, hey, it's not like it was some wild feral beast, but still, if you are a living, breathing creature and you think you can invade my house and home, you think you can, hey, my kid's sleeping in there, my beautiful wife is sleeping in there, you think you're going to come in there and mess with us? No, you're not. I took care of that the way that Tennessee took care of Louisville in basketball.
Oh,
last
yeah,
night.
that's so we were talking about that last time. And I believe I said is like you didn't want to make a total prediction on this, right? Because like in hindsight, it's always 20/20, correct? But I did kind of try to persuade you maybe to make a preliminary, pick, even if you didn't lock it in.
Didn't do it.
You would have been. I think you would have been right?
Not that it matters.
Not that it matters now because I've got you on the spot here.
I don't ever pick Tennessee to really lose a game there in Knoxville. Like at Food City Center, it just doesn't happen. Like Tennessee, most of the losses the past couple of years have been like exhibition games or when it wasn't, they were trying things. When they're there and the crowd's there and they're ready to go and the game counts, they're not impossible to beat. They've lost the past 5 or 6 years there. They just doesn't happen often, and they're not picked often to do it. And we're going to get to a lot about that because that 83-62 win over Louisville, that was impressive.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It felt wider than that for different reasons that we'll discuss throughout the program. And Louisville wasn't at full strength, but you know what? Neither was Tennessee. That's how it is, guys. You take the guys that you can have. You go out there and play the game. No excuses. Both of these teams have big NIL war chests. We all know that. Both of these teams, Final Four contenders. We know that. No excuses. Go out there and play. Tennessee played and took care of business. And we're going to spend, I would say, probably most of this episode talking about that, including you'll hear from Louisville coach Pat Kelsey. You'll hear from Tennessee coach Rick Barnes. We got some sound from them we're going to play for you a little bit later. But first, quickly, some football news. Not surprising news. We have discussed this a few times here on the show, that Jake Merklinger probably was going to the transfer portal. He is indeed going or plans to go into the portal. I think it's technically not open yet, but when it's open, he's going to be there. That news officially broke this morning. I think it was Hayes Fawcett who got it first, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, it was out there. It was, this is not something I'm saying, we've known this was coming. But you could go back and listen to several episodes of this show where we told you this was coming. This was probably going to happen. Probably the right move for him. Probably the right move. Not a bad move for Tennessee. I think there's value in having as many quality scholarship quarterbacks as you can have. It's just hard to have a lot of them because there's one ball. They want to go play. He's good enough to play somewhere. Now, do I think he's good enough to be like an all-SEC caliber quarterback at a place like Tennessee? Gun to my head, I say no. But I say that based on really what you hear as much as what you see. Because we talked about this before. Josh Heupel, he has the right to do this. He's not breaking any rules by doing this. He doesn't show us much anything. He just doesn't. And he'll show us a little bit in camp. He'll show us some in spring. And sometimes, not right now, but sometimes bowl practices can be opened up a little bit. If the bowl makes you, Tennessee will open it up and show you some things. Like they will find out, like if a bowl, you're in a playoff, you're in the Orange Bowl, whatever it is, if it is required that you open practice for X amount of time, it will be open for that X amount of time on X amount of days and not 1 minute more. But we see what we see from the spring. We see what we see from the first parts of preseason camp. And then we see in mop-up opportunities in games what some guys have gotten. Do we have enough sample size to sit here, us, me, watching, me talking, you watching and listening to this? Very few of us. If you're Jake Merklinger, I'd say yes. If you're one of his teammates, I'd say yes. If you're one of his coaches, I'd say yes. If you're one of his parents, I'd say probably, because they can get in there and look at practice sometimes. And you should believe in your kid, because if not, what kind of parent are you? But if those of us who have seen enough, there's not that many. And I say those of us, the people, I'm not in there. That group of people, they, them, the ones who have seen this. None of them have then articulated to me that this was someone who was going to develop into some sort of a star quarterback at Tennessee. But he's a good player, and he's somebody who is good enough to be a starter somewhere. So he's got a couple years left. I think go ahead and go somewhere where you can play. I don't think anybody's holding that against him. He's been a good teammate. He's been a good student, been good in the community, showed up for meetings, practices, done his job, worked hard, tried to get the job, didn't win it. And now he's going to go elsewhere. And that means I think Tennessee's up to officially 8 people to this point who will not participate in the bowl. A couple of them were injured. Probably weren't going to do anything anyway. McCoy, Kitzelman, those guys. And then you add Arion Carter to that, who at first we didn't know he's going to declare, but is he going to play or not? He's not going to play in the bowl game. So right now it's up to 8 people, and not a lot of them are serious contributors. So it's not – I expect that list to grow, but right now it's at 8. And for Illinois, there's a couple as well. But so Tennessee will have 2 scholarship quarterbacks, I suppose, available for the game. It will have Joey Aguilar, who is going to play, as we detailed yesterday, and he detailed himself yesterday. And then you'll have freshman George McIntyre, who, hey, opportunity for him. You're one play away now, George. There's no question about it. Depending on when, if Aguilar had gotten hurt at different times of the season or what point in the season, how things were going, like if he was out for a couple plays, that was going to be Jake Merklinger to come in. If it had been a deal where he'd missed a couple games, I think you might have seen a little more George McIntyre there. But now there's no question. Either way, hey, if Aguilar loses his helmet, guess what, Big George? You 6'6" string bean, get in there and hand the ball off. Get in there and chuck it around a little bit. That's what you're going to do, just like Nico did at the end of his first year there. So that's he can still redshirt. There's no question about that. That doesn't count. So there's no reason not to give him a few reps in there if you can. But I think we've talked enough about that in terms of the past couple of weeks about what you should and shouldn't do at quarterback and why Joey Aguilar is the right guy for right now, I think, in the bowl game. But, hey, if you can get McIntyre some looks, why not, right? Now, if he goes, you don't want to go out there and throw 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and all of a sudden Faison Brandon's going, what? Then all of a sudden portal guys who might be considering Tennessee will go, wait, what? You got a guy who's going to be a redshirt freshman next year, and he just threw for 300 yards and 5 tutties in your bowl game? No, thank you. I will go elsewhere. So, yeah, I think you play Joey Aguilar in the bowl game. But if you get a chance for a couple series there for McIntyre, hey, it's not the end of the world. I could see that being a win-win situation. And, hey, best of luck moving forward to Merklinger. By all accounts, again, does things the right way. I think Tennessee will be happy to give him a really good recommendation to get him going somewhere else, and there'll be practice tape they'll make available, and they'll be able to get those things to people. So I think that's good. Hopefully things work out well for him. Best of luck to him going forward. And now, Tom, we can discuss what was a really, really, really
I mean,
good win for Tennessee basketball.
Yeah.
You're wearing red today. I laughed at that, by the way.
it's not red. This is orange of sorts. It's not quite Vol orange. It's
Move the camera over to you.
Hold on, let
the
me
people
get
see.
me on camera
Can we
here.
frame you up a little
Yeah,
bit?
I'm framed up here right now, so you can see it's kind of like it's Vol orange, but with the color balancing here, maybe it looks a little red just because I'm under this light here. So, apologies to any Vol fans out there. I try my best here.
You did not, however, pull an Emily Ray Cochran who wore red to the game last night.
That.
And she
Not
did
ideal.
not. She and I were trying the elevator right outside this building down the hall is the elevator we take down to the garage to get the Batmobile and take it on over to the arena. And we were getting in the elevator, and she just looked at me and went, "Oh no." I was like, "What? Did you forget your keys? Like, did you forget the keys? Like, do we need to go get? I got keys. It's fine. What do we need?" She goes, "I'm wearing red." And I was like,
Ooh.
I looked and I was like, "Yeah, you are." And it's not like wearing red to say a Tennessee-Alabama game.
Yeah,
it's not wearing
not. Or
blue to a Tennessee-Kentucky game. It's
Sure.
not, wearing a yellow or gold shirt to a Vandy or LSU game. You know what I mean? It's not like you've done the worst thing ever. It's a Louisville game. It's Christmas time. People wear red around Christmas. Not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. But I told her this a lot. Told everybody this a lot. If you cover the SEC and you want to make sure you're never looking out of place in a press box, green. There's not a single green team in the Southeastern Conference. Not one. Not one. I think most of the other colors are represented in some form or fashion, right?
Trying to think if anybody
No
has
green.
it as like a sub or alternate. No, I don't think so.
I mean, occasionally Florida wears like the reptile or whatever jersey that's got a
but
little
that
bit
doesn't
of green
count.
in it, but that's
it's
not.
not like an actual school color.
No,
you know
or
what
if you
I
do
mean?
like a salute the troops kind of thing, you might have one of those. Like
Once
Tennessee
again,
had a
yeah,
little bit of
that's-
fatigue and had a little bit of like camo in there. I mean, it's. But in terms of just pure green, no, most of the other leagues have at least one. Oregon or
Oregon.
Or,
that's
you
who I
got
think of when I think
Oregon
of-
or you got Miami or you've got Michigan State. I
Yep.
mean, there's some Baylor. There's
Baylor,
some
yep.
pretty prominent green team. None in the SEC, and I think the one exception to that is black, which is the color I'm wearing now, because black is one of those things. It's like
I don't think you can really get anybody for black or white on a uniform.
because most of the
or
things
just
that
wearing it in
I
general.
usually just wear
Yeah.
black most of the time because it goes with either jeans or khakis.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just easy. You just wear black. It's good enough for Johnny Cash, good enough for me. And even if you cover like a Tennessee Vandy or Tennessee Mizzou game, no one's like, "Oh, you're wearing black, huh?" Like it's
You
not.
have to wear.
you'd
You
have
have
to
to
wear
wear the
gold.
gold with the Mizzou
Yeah,
outfit.
and-
Coming from somebody who went to the school.
Hey, your words, not mine.
Yeah, I don't.
Fine
think anybody
journalism
would
school. Fine journalism school.
quite.
But it's quite and they're happy to tell you that too. The old Mizzou graduation book where you get the get into the Mizzou mafia with journalism throughout the country.
No. That's
I say that the connections at Tennessee through sports media are pretty strong too.
It's any school you go to,
ESPN's
Georgia,
ESPN's got
Florida.
Tennessee people swimming all over
Yeah,
it.
like it's about on the same level.
yes.
It's nothing. It's no more than what you would expect.
But
out
it
of
is a very good
university
journalism school. It's
ties,
a very
right?
good journalism school, and
For sure.
so it's up. Ohio State, Syracuse, just known as a really good journalism school. Georgia, 1-2, obviously, but there's. It's just simple, and no one. Even if you look at like the Tennessee Vandy football game, every time it's in Neyland, it makes me laugh a little bit because even some like diehard Tennessee fans don't have like an orange, like, oh my God, it's 20 degrees outside coat. And so it'll be black. And so you'll, in the stands, you're like, are those Vanderbilt fans? No, there's just Tennessee fans. I see orange underneath that jacket. It's just people wearing dark jackets. But anyways, that's what Emily did yesterday. She wore the red that you're wearing now. And it's, you say it's not red.
It's not red. It's just how it looks in the light. If you see me in a different room under light, you'll see it's definitely orange.
I'll be the judge of that when we walk out of this room later. But I believe you. Trust but verify. Right? Trust
Don't
but
make
verify.
me have to turn a light on me. Over
Trust but verify. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I'll get a second source on it. We'll have someone else put eyes on it. We'll be fine. Emily could look. She's in here. She's back there. She's working, so she couldn't be in here today. But she wore red yesterday, so she would know.
I'm
red
going
when
to prove
she
it to you
sees
right now, actually, because we're going to end this debate right now. Look at your monitor over there and tell me what color this is. It's orange. It's definitely orange.
Illinois orange, maybe.
I said it's not exactly Vol orange for sure. This was from I forget where. It's like one of the sporting goods stores. I remember getting this a long time ago.
I mean, hey, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a shirt. It's just a shirt. They're just words. It's just a shirt. No big deal. No problem. Anyway, the team that actually was wearing red yesterday, black and red.
Yeah.
Tom, it got beat up on. That was a beat 'em down.
It was
for Tennessee. That was the final score 83-62.
Mm-hmm.
Not completely out of place. It felt a little bit bigger than that maybe, but not like 50. It didn't feel like a 50-point win or anything. But
yeah,
I think it was so interesting because obviously you learned before the game that much to the disappointment of a bunch of the scouts who were there. A bunch of them were there, by the way. I think more than a couple dozen scouts were there, including, I think, for the second time in a week, the assistant GM of the Hawks, Kyle Korver, former NBA star. He was there again at a second consecutive Tennessee game, looking maybe at old Nate Ament there for a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also there, obviously, to see Michael Brown Jr. from Louisville, who's going to be a lottery pick as well in this draft. And then, well, he warms up, but he can't play. He's got a back. And you wonder. Remember, this was supposed to be the first time in 5 years that Tennessee was a home underdog, 5 or 6 years. But just like that Tennessee-Alabama football game, that line moved quite a bit, and you wondered that week what's going on. Maybe it was Arion Carter's injury, Tennessee-Bama week, and maybe some old Vegas Sharps got word ahead of time, threw a bunch of money on Tennessee because that line moved like 4 points in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there, we talked about this on the show, and I said, well, is somebody hurt? Or did people just panic because they went, oh, no, Tennessee never loses there. And a bunch of people start throwing money at Tennessee, and so Vegas has to even it out a little bit, which is possible. But I think in hindsight, probably someone got word that Michael Brown was not going to be able to play. And he went through warm-ups, so they weren't quite sure, but then they ruled just before tip that he was not going to play. And so with that, that's disappointing because you want to see everybody healthy. You want to see teams at their best. You want to, hey, that's, Tennessee's, that's the thing. I mean, scouts have gone to Tennessee, Kansas, hoping that would be 2 lottery picks facing each other. And Kansas's star is hurt. Then they go play Syracuse. Syracuse's star is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But they lose those games. And then Louisville's there, and the star's hurt. So it's like, if I were a conspiratorial guy, excuse me, which again, I'm not. I am much more towards the Occam's razor part of the scale than the conspiratorial scale. I think things aren't always exactly what they seem, but I think they're closer to that than like conspiracy brain more often than not. Now that everything's unique, but I think there are times where people know exactly what kind of physical game Tennessee is going to be. And if it's early in the season, and if you have a guy who maybe will or maybe won't play with an injury, he ain't playing. You are not throwing him out there against those beasts. You're not doing it. Tennessee physically just assaults you. And it sometimes does it without fouling, sometimes does it with fouling, sometimes does it with fouling and it not getting called. The way you officiate games with like Tennessee and Houston matters quite a bit. It matters in any game, but it matters especially with them because they are really physical. And I've mentioned this before, they are almost like what a Georgia or Alabama football defense in the secondary is. Those teams, those Nick Saban teams, the Kirby Smart teams, when Pruitt was the coordinator there, those teams really knew how to hold you and not get called for holding. They knew how to commit pass interference and not get called. And I don't think it's because people are calling the game in favor of either of those teams. Those coaches are so good at knowing exactly where you can get away with it or where you have a better chance. They play the percentages. They drill this. They work this. And Tennessee plays those angles in basketball with Rick Barnes. I don't know if these two things are connected, but last night Louisville has Tennessee gets warned for it, and then it gets a delay game technical for slapping the ball after scoring. And maybe it's incidental, or maybe it's because they know how fast Louisville wants to go. And so if they can score and then kind of slap or kick the ball away just a couple feet after they score, well, Louisville's got to collect that ball. Louisville's got to get set, throw it in. That's a few steps. That's precious for you to get back and play defense. It might not seem like anything. It's a lot. And if the pressures had gone longer, I definitely would have asked. Or if the game was closer, I definitely would have asked. But is that something that people do against Louisville sometimes? And so Louisville mentions it to refs before the game, saying, look for this? Because it's not something you see called very often. And I imagine it's something either Louisville saw on tape that Tennessee does, or it's happened to Louisville, and Pat Kelsey is telling the refs before the game, look for this. I'm tired of people doing this with us. It's against the rules. Everybody does it. Start calling it. Or they said, listen, guys, on tape, Tennessee does this all the time, and you're going to let them get away with it? Guys, they're embarrassing you. They're breaking a rule. Things like that happen. And so it got called. But you'll hear from Kelsey here in a minute talking about the way Tennessee muddies things. And we'll get to that. We'll get to Barnes before we get to that. But just that kind of physicality, if you've got a guy and it's December, heck, even if it's January maybe, and you got a guy who maybe could play, maybe couldn't play, you ain't playing him against Tennessee. It doesn't make sense. That's going to be, even if you beat Tennessee, you will not physically overwhelm Tennessee. Last year, Florida did it once. Houston did it once. This season, Tennessee didn't let Houston do it. Teams have beaten Tennessee. Illinois, in the second half of that game in Nashville, did it a little bit. But Illinois has also got one of the biggest teams in the country. Those guys are huge, huge Eastern European dudes on that team. Huge. But that game was just Tennessee taking a 2-4 to Louisville. And it's kind of, we said going into the game, Tennessee's lost 3 in a row. Unusual. Tennessee at first opened as a home underdog. Unusual. Tennessee hadn't played a game in 10 days. Unusual. In those games, in those practices, that's 10 days where these guys, their entire day is studying for finals, taking finals, Rick Barnes yelling at you on the floor, Rick Barnes yelling at you in the classroom, like in the film room, and then going through practice where you're going to be running quite a bit when you make mistakes because he's got 10 days to prove a point, and he ain't got to worry about a scouting report for like a week. So that's what Louisville was walking into yesterday. And I will give credit. We say this a lot. Rick Barnes he's a firm man, but he's a fair man. When he sees something that he wants to see, he won't go overboard, but he will mention it. And he'll say, that's what I wanted. That's why I've been on y'all. That's what I wanted to see. And here he is after the game talking about that. Here's Tennessee basketball coach Rick Barnes after last night's rout of Louisville.
Was that more defensively what you're looking for out of this team?
It was. Obviously, I'm really proud of our guys. We had a tough stretch there that the last 10 days in practice, they've worked hard. I think they've learned a lot the last 10 days. I think we learned a lot from those 3 losses in terms of how you can do a lot to help your opponent if you're not sharp as you need to be and on both ends. But I really thought we were locked in maybe as well defensively as we've been all year against the team. Have a lot of respect for Pat Kelsey and what he's done at Louisville. He took over a program that, as you guys know, is rich in history and tradition, and did a great job a year ago. And he's doing the same thing with this group. I know they were down a key player, but we've dealt with that all year too at times. But just really proud of the focus of our guys coming in. I thought their mental preparation, but probably more important, it was leading up to the last couple of days getting ready for Louisville, what we did through that period to talk about what we have to do to give ourselves the best chance to win.
y'all forced more turnovers tonight than feels like y'all have most of the season. Was that just that mental preparation? What led to that?
Well, again, I think you got to give it to the players. I think we've proven. We haven't consistently proven. I mean, we had a game like that against Houston, obviously, and where we were on point. We had some other games, but it's still a group of younger guys. I mean, we've got so many young guys that are learning what this is about. I mean, there's no doubt, and I didn't think at any point in time getting ready for this season we'd have 2 freshmen in the starting lineup like we have, and coming off the bench with the ones that we do. I've told you guys all along we're really excited about our young players, our freshman class, but I thought Ethan made some big-time plays tonight. I thought Mo did. I thought a key part of the game was the last 4 minutes of the first half when we were in foul trouble. Had a group of guys out there that hadn't been in that situation ever, and they were able to not surrender the lead and give us a little bit of margin there. But overall, really proud of everyone, and I'm happy because I know how hard they've worked the last 10 days and won a game against an outstanding team, an extremely well-coached team, and hard team to guard, very hard team to guard because they are really got a great scheme. They really do a lot of stuff that are really difficult to guard.
Coach, college basketball, you don't have must-win games in December, but nobody wants to lose 4 in a row. Your guys had to be feeling a little pressure tonight. How proud of you that they responded like they did in this situation?
Well, I don't want to lose any, to be honest with you, but when you do lose, and the way we lost is what is so hard, Rob. It's the way we lost them, And again, will never take away from the other team because the final score, whoever's got the most points won the game. But from every team that goes back and look, I don't care who it is, you'll look back, and we certainly have, and we felt like we should not have lost those 3 games. And again, that's to take nothing away from Kansas, Syracuse, Illinois, because they're all good teams, capable of beating anybody on any night. But the way we played that game, we just didn't give ourselves much of a chance because we're not at that point in time where we can be as bad as we were on offense and defense and expect to beat those teams. But again, I think it says a lot about these guys because the last 10 days have been tough for a reason, because we knew we needed to get to a certain level, getting ready, knowing you're staring down the barrel at Louisville coming in and having a great year and great program. Really know that they got guys that can, the other night they made 18 threes, and that what they're capable of. And so the credit goes to our players. Coach, staff coach Gainey did a good job as a scout, but along with our other GAs that help him. But you got to give the credit to the players. They knew what we needed to get done, and they didn't want to lose 4 in a row. I'm just a good win for us.
That's Tennessee basketball coach Rick Barnes discussing the game last night with I was down there. A bunch of us were the whole media corps down in there, and a bunch of the people who cover Louisville in the house too, speaking with both coaches and some players after the game. And hey, I think that's what qualifies as borderline effusive praise from Rick Barnes. He basically said in a very subtle way, past 10 days, not so fun for these guys.
Yeah,
and it wasn't going to be fun.
Guess all that balloon popping did wonders, right?
There you go. Think about this. Louisville came into the game 5th fastest in the country tempo-wise, I believe. And again, remember, in FCS football, you're talking 120, 125 schools. Division I basketball, you're talking 350 or whatever it is. It's a 340. It's a lot of schools. Louisville's 5th fastest tempo in the country. Louisville takes more threes than just about anybody in a game, makes about 38% of them. And Louisville last night, 7 of 34 from 3. Louisville, which is one of the fastest tempo teams in the country, had as many fast break points as it had shot clock violations. You took one of the fastest teams in the country, and let me state that again. 4 shot clock violations, 4 points in transition.
Seems out of the ordinary, don't it?
That is taking a really pretty car and hitting it with a sledgehammer, hitting it with a wrecking ball. That's what they did. They got after them. And it at first threatened to be an issue because Nate Ament got 2 early fouls. One of them was a charge that just should not have been called. And Ament had been fouled before the charge anyway, but it got called. Is what it is. Tough one. Then he gets another one that absolutely was a foul, and he's got 2 fouls. Gillespie gets 2 fouls. He goes to the bench. They had 3 guys, 3 starters, 2 fouls. And so Tennessee had to finish the final 4 minutes or so of that half with neither one of those guys. And Ament hadn't been able to play for like the final 12 or so minutes of the first half. And so Tennessee had a 7-point lead at the half with 3 starters battling foul trouble and Tennessee being 3 of 9 from the free throw line. So Tennessee goes into that game without a starter. 3 starters have 2 fouls. Tennessee goes 3 for 9 from the free throw line in the first half. Tennessee leads by 7 points. There's multiple ways to look at that. One is, why in the name of anyone who's ever played the game at a high level can you not hit more free throws than this? Why can you not hit free throws right now? That's one thing. Another thing is, why is Nate Ament keep getting in foul trouble? Why is he committing fouls that he shouldn't be? Because teams are going to go at him and Jacoby Gillespie every game. They're going to spread the floor, and they're going to attack you one-on-one, and they're going to try to get you in foul trouble. Because, big news here, they have a better chance of beating your team if you're not on the floor. That's why they're doing that. So occasionally, and I don't know if Rick Barnes will ever say this, probably not. Man, sometimes just let him go. Just let him go. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't play defense. Doesn't mean you can't try to take the ball. Doesn't mean you can't try to set your feet and take a charge. But don't reach in. Don't go over the back. Don't do things in space that will 100% get called. Like, kid, you're 6'11" and your wingspan is like a pterodactyl. They're gonna see you. Plus, you're a first-round pick, so everybody's looking at you. You're not gonna get away with that. Stop doing that. And Gillespie, he's learning how to play defense the way Tennessee wants and demands that guards play defense. It's a little new for him in that way. He's athletic enough to do it. Former football player. He's tough enough to do it. Just got to go out there and do it. And don't fall for that. And also, Jalen Carey, my gosh, kid, make a free throw. Make a free throw. You're such a good basketball player, and not even half as good as you could be, and you're really good. You're really good, and you're at best half as good as you should be. It reminds me a lot of Grant Williams early in his career. Now, Williams at the time was 18, Carey's like 20, 21 now, so it's different. But Rick Barnes keeps telling Jalen Carey the same thing he told Grant Williams. You are so much more athletic than you think you are. If you will make yourself hurt, if you will push yourself, you can jump so much higher. You can run so much faster. You can go over people, not just through them. And you'll still be as powerful as you were. Like, do you want to play professionally in another country, or do you want to play it professionally here? Because even though you're not 6'11" or 7 feet tall, you have unique qualities in your power that will translate to certain levels if you will go push yourself athletically. And that's why Grant Williams at 6'5" or 6" is still collecting paychecks in the NBA. It's also because he's, one of the president or whatever of the League Players Association, and he's a smart kid who could have gone to an Ivy League school. So that helps you. That helps you hang around the league too. But he's a good basketball player, and so all those things happened for Tennessee in the first half, and they had a 7-point lead. So at the time, a reasonable person, I think, could say, well, is Tennessee going to rue that opportunity lost the way that it really should be a double-digit lead right now? Or is Louisville going to look at this and go, man, Tennessee had a starter out to begin with. 3 starters got 2 fouls. Tennessee could not make a 3. Was 3 of 9 from the free throw line. They only 1 of 8 from 3. Like, how are we down by 7 points right now? Because this could get worse. And we see who was right. Like, Louisville obviously was the one ruining the day that they let some opportunities slip in the first half, because Tennessee came out in the second half. And with Ament and Gillespie, both one out there, two still fresh, all of a sudden they're raining in some threes. You're spacing the floor. Tennessee does not have to be a great three-point shooting team. It just has to be an adequate three-point shooting team. It has to shoot the three adequately enough to space the floor, because that gives you a better chance to get Ament one-on-one, gives you a better chance to get Gillespie one-on-one, and it gives you a better chance to do what Tennessee did quite a bit in the game last night, which was take those overly aggressive defenses who jump out in passing lanes, space the floor, get a seal, get the guy to seal off the overly aggressive defender, dump it down, easy layup. Excuse me. Tennessee got so many points. It was dominating the paint in the first half by doing that. And they couldn't really space the floor, and it was still doing that. So then in the second half, boom, you hit 4 threes right out the gate. Gillespie hits a couple of them. Gillespie scored 20 of his 23 points in the second half. And then Ament hits one. And then Ethan Berg hits one. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 4 threes. Tennessee's up 15 points. Louisville's calling another timeout. That's game orange blouses. I mean, at that point, that's that. It's done. It's done. And so Louisville can score in a hurry, so you thought, okay, maybe they'll make one run here, make it close. Nope, Tennessee just kept pushing on. And you saw in that game, I mean, Tennessee's three-point shooting numbers ended up being, 7 of 18? Pretty good. You'll take that for them. But, I mean, 4 of them came within just a few minutes of each other. And that was enough, because other than that, other than that one stretch, Tennessee was 3 of 14 maybe. But that was most of the game they were that. They just were good enough in that one stretch where that's where their defense starts to wear on you more. You start pressing. Now you got to foul a little bit more. And Tennessee actually made free throws in the second half. Tennessee, what was it? So if you're 3 of 9 in the first half, that would have made them 15 of 19 in the second half. So maybe the long curse of the free throw problems are over. I don't think they are for Jalen Carey. He was 4 for 10 from the free throw line. That's how you have 12 points and 10 rebounds, and you should have had 18 points and 10 rebounds. And that's also why he didn't play as much in the second half. I think he played 23, 24 minutes. And a lot of that's in the second half, because if he's out there, Louisville's fouling him intentionally, and he's going to the free throw line. Because that's where you hurt yourself. If you can't shoot free throws, there are times in the game where you render yourself unavailable, because your coach can't select you unless everybody else is in foul trouble, because the opponent can say, okay, I'm going to put a walk-on out there, and every time you catch the ball, you don't even have to catch the ball. We're just going to foul you. We're going to go tug your jersey every play. I got 4 walk-ons. I'll do that 20 times. I will tug your jersey. I will make you go to the free throw line. I will make you prove. People used to do it to Shaq. People have done it. I mean, is it the most pleasant way to watch a basketball game? No. But your job is not to do that. Your job is to win the game. And so if Carey, who can shoot, if you can pass the ball as well as he can, he's got touch. Just something's in his head right there at the line, or he's getting fatigued and he's not pushing through it and he's not kind of mentally, whatever it is, they got to get that squared away, because Felix Okpara is a pretty good free throw shooter despite being a big guy. You can do it. He's just got to get better there. But that's why in the first half, you're thinking, man, I was thinking I might be pretty smart, Tom. This might be the 2020 game that I said Jalen Carey would do at least once this season. He would have a 2020 game.
You could have ended the cold streak.
But he could have been out there to keep rebounding. That's true. I've been like, oh, I'm back. I'm so
You
back.
made up for it. All
so back.
is forgiven after.
So back. So back. We are so back. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Happy Festivus. All of it. And so, yeah, it would have been the way he was dominating in that game. If he could have stayed out there longer and made some free throws, could have been a 2020 game. Because I think the final on the glass was 35-30. Tennessee had, 10 offensive rebounds? Tennessee normally the best offensive rebounding team in the country. It got about 35% of its misses last night. Usually Tennessee gets 45%. 35 is still a good number, but 45 is outrageous, and that's what Tennessee normally does. So, but that was – Tennessee played the way that it needed to play the game, and it was not perfect. Even the second half wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. It's never going to be perfect against a pretty good team. But that's proof of concept, a reminder, pretty good basketball team. And really, really hard team to beat with 21,678 people standing behind it at Food City Center, Thompson Bowling Arena, whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever you want to call it. And I thought the crowd was pretty good last night. I mean, it's never the same without the students being fully there, and it's different because
they've all gone home,
and God
a lot
bless
of
the
them.
alumni
Yep.
band players, but I mean, it's great that they come back and do that. I love that Tennessee does that for the holidays. Let the alumni band come in and play some games. It's not quite the same. I mean, you got the students and they're doing the goofy things that a student band does, and you got the students that are getting excited with them, and it's just different.
Yeah.
But the people who were there, they made it a pretty good environment, and they gave Louisville a really, really hard time. But the crowd did it, and Tennessee did it. Symbiotic relationship there. The Vols and their fans kind of coming together and giving Louisville lots of problems. And I thought after the game, Pat Kelsey mentioned that pretty solidly. I think he didn't make any excuses about the Brown stuff, really. He said, hey, it's basketball. Guys aren't out there. It is what it is. Got to go play. Tennessee's got guys that hurt too. But what he did say pretty clearly was what we mentioned earlier. Tennessee just took his offense and threw it in the mud. And here he is saying that last night after the game.
Credit Tennessee. They were the better team tonight. Tough physical team. Coach Barnes' teams are always that way. Thought in the first half our defense was pretty good. They scored it at 1.05 points per possession, which is solid defensively. 7-point deficit at halftime. And then, I felt like in the second half, and you credit Tennessee, they scored it at like 1.4 or 1.45, something like that, which is not good and not solid. Fouled, got to the free throw line. I think at one point they made a bunch of threes in a row. There was a stretch there where they made some big threes to really stretch the lead. They're the number one rebounding team in the country for a reason. I thought we were getting hurt. And then I thought if you look for any silver lining in the second half, I felt like our guys did a better job of limiting their second opportunities and second shots and showed a lot more fight and grit in the second half. But credit them. Congratulations to Tennessee. We got some work to do. And got a game, on Saturday before the break. Got to have a couple good days of preparation and respond the right way.
Yeah, Pat, the toughness and the physicality, you're ready for that for Tennessee. You experienced it against Arkansas. How do you feel like you handled that, and how much of what you saw could you have used some shots to go in sometimes when you're a good shooter?
That helps. That helps when the shot goes in. You always credit the defense and you credit the other team. I have to go back and watch the tape. I felt like we had looks that we make a lot at a higher percentage. They just didn't go in tonight. So that obviously helps. From a physicality standpoint, they're averaging 45% offensive rebounding percentage, which is number one in the country by 3 full percentage points. And, overall we held them to 35% on their overall misses. And like I said, I think there was a big uptick, if you will, in the fight and the grit and the toughness in the second half. And I thought we were better in that regard. But they're physical in every single aspect. They just are. They're They want to make it hard for you to move and to cut and to screen and things like that. And I felt like, when we were able to move the ball, move people, and get into multiple actions, I thought we got some really good stuff. There was, there were times when they muddy you up with their physicality and those type things, and then it kind of caused us to stop moving, not get into actions, and then we got a little bit stagnant. So things that we'll clean up, we'll watch the tape, and we'll learn from it, just like we learned from the last loss we had on the road, and get ready for Montana on Saturday.
That's Louisville coach Pat Kelsey from Cincinnati. He's from Cincinnati. You can tell, right? You could spot that Midwestern accent a mile away.
A light accent.
I'll tell you,
I've heard thicker.
Living for almost a decade and coaching at Winthrop, and then 3 years in Charleston. Spent a lot of years in the Carolinas. He ain't losing that Cincinnati accent though.
No.
It didn't change. And Pat Kelsey's a guy who incredibly good basketball coach. This is his second season at Louisville. Last season, what he did, where they were, I mean, they were. I don't know which of the 7 layers of hell they were in. They were in one of them, and they were in a bad way. And he made them awfully competitive early. I think 3 times. I think since he's been there, just 3 times they've scored 65 or fewer points in a game, and 2 of those were in the 2 games against Tennessee. So clearly, Tennessee's been able to rough up this squad physically, but there's a lot of good players on that roster. And that team, I mean, Tennessee wanted a lot of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember look at Isaac McNeely, who last night had to have been thinking, like, if I'd come to Tennessee, I wouldn't have had to face this Tennessee defense. I mean, I'd have had to practice against it every day, which maybe would have helped me, but it wouldn't have been fun. Because last night, McNeely, who's a really good shooter, really good player, really good scorer. Virginia, he's done it for years in the ACC. Tennessee offered him a nice compensation package to come to Tennessee, but Louisville just was about a $500,000 or so more, and it is what it is. But he played 35 minutes last night, 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. I think he was 0 of 6 until he made one there down the stretch when the game was basically over. He had a hard time against Tennessee's.
Mm-hmm.
He did not get good looks. They were not letting him sit there and, kind of park the bus and shoot it like he likes to do. Because normally he kind of hovers out there on the perimeter, and, they got some guys who can break you down off the dribble, and they'll beat their man. Your guy comes over to help. They kick it out to you. You're open now. Bam, hit a 3. Because he's a guy that you don't leave. On the scouting report, it says, don't leave ever. It's a big and bold, do not leave. If a guy gets blown by one-on-one for a layup, he gets blown by for a layup. You are not leaving this guy. Because if you leave him, that's 3 points. You leave him, it's 2. I'll take the 2. That's how good of a shooter he is when he's open. You just can't leave him out there. And so Tennessee was all over him. And one of the shots he actually did make, the only shot he made inside the arc, he actually had to beat the shot clock by throwing one over Felix Okpara, which is, hey, that should have counted for more than 2 points. I was watching that shot going, because you saw he was ISO'd against Okpara late into possession. You're like, that's not going to work out well, Isaac McNeely. That's not your game, my man. He made it work. He got enough space, and he floated the ball over him. That was one of the few things that did get around Okpara, though. Okpara last night, the stats don't show it. They just don't. The stats, in 31 minutes, he scores 8 points on 4 or 5 shooting, has 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 3 block shots. That does not even scratch the surface of the impact he made on that game last night. And I try to do this during games. I try to point things out, live on the socials during games, because you're writing a game story that's updated at the Horn. You're doing a bunch of things at once. You're pulling photos, right? You're doing a bunch of things. But there's times where I try to make sure to mention things that when you see them, because you might forget to mention them later, and people who are also covering the game might not have time to notice it. It was at least twice last night. One of the times I mentioned it live, where one of Louisville's big guys, 6'10", 6'11", big guys, had the ball and could have put it on the deck and attacked the rim and tried to score, but they saw Okpara out of the corner of their eye, and they stopped and did a fadeaway jumper. And these are guys who are almost 7 feet tall. And they wanted no part of going at Okpara. They wanted no part of it. And that is how you impact a game without getting credit for it. Right, on offense, they talk about gravity scores, guys who create space for others and who maybe he only hits 3 threes in a game, but so many other people get so many points because so many people are so preoccupied with covering this guy, or guarding this guy, I should say. It's covering football. It's guarding hoops. And people get mad when you don't say that right sometimes. But Okpara on defense, I mean, no matter what you're doing, if you're spreading Tennessee out, you're doing dribble drive, you're doing a lot of ball screen stuff, he never has to worry about – he can just switch to anybody. If you throw a screen, he will just go – he doesn't have to go around the screen and try to stay with his big guy. He'll just go with the point guard. He does not care. He will go guard you anywhere. Athletically, he can do it. And a couple of the shots they made over him yesterday, it's like, how'd you do that? I mean, it's this dude's 6'11", nearly 7 feet tall. I don't know what his wingspan is, but it's a large airplane. And he can jump. He gets off the floor in a hurry. He is a problem. He is defensively elite. And you can see why people would say, I'm not going to go at the rim right now. I'm going to, Carey's a big guy, and it might hurt when you run into him, but you can get the ball over him a lot of times. Estrella, big guy, long arms, but he's not the explosive leaper that Okpara is and Cade Phillips is when he's in there. But Okpara, man, that performance last night, not even close to reflecting his impact on that game. And he's one of those guys, Okpara, where it's like, yes, it'd be great if he can give you 8 or 10 points. That's great. If he can give you like 8 points, 7 rebounds, great. But he doesn't have to do that. It's the same thing as Meshack. He does not have to. The impact that he has on the game, Louisville normally scores 95 points in a game. Louisville scores 62 points last night. And I could name several possessions where Okpara just stopped anything from happening. Because somebody beat their guy and they were going to the rim and they saw Okpara there. Nope. Backed it out. Chucked it around somewhere else. Did a stop, fade away, low percentage shot rather than go at Mount Okpara. And, hey, man, that guy, Rick Barnes said this, and we didn't get to show all of it because, we don't have time to show the entire press. We can put it on the site, but we can't show all of it. We only have an hour here right now. But he basically said, and didn't basically say, he did say that they think Felix Okpara is the best defensive player in the country when he's dialed in. And I can't sit here and tell you that's wrong or right. I've not, it's early in the season. There's a lot of guys out there to watch. There's a lot of great athletes. Houston's got a bunch of great defensive players. There's guys out there who are stoppers. But I can tell you that I don't think there are many defensive big men better than him. And not just this is what Rick does. He gets guys who can guard all 5 spots. The Ponzes, the Meshacks, now Okpara to a certain degree. They can just go guard anybody. And that makes you so much better to defend ball screens. It makes the help defense, the rotations. I mean, this is where I appreciate the people who know ball who can see this. Because his impact on that game last night, unbelievable. And there are a bunch of guys who played well. We'll mention more. We got a couple more shows this week to get to it because we didn't have time really to mention Ethan Berg much, and I think maybe we mention him tomorrow because I think you saw some good things from him and you needed to see him, and that was good. Amon's foul trouble, we touched on that a little bit. Carry stuff. There's still – we've left a little meat on the bones here, but we got a couple more days in the week to do that, and we'll get to it. But I just couldn't – I could not mention Felix Okpara because it's not just him. A lot goes into the way Tennessee plays defense, but he is an absolute demon and is as big a part of that as anybody. And you don't you're not going to get on SportsCenter as much for that. Now you dunk, you block the shot. Hey, you can get out there. Although he was throwing the box. He gives you the box celebration when he blocks your shot, like I just put you in a box. I think that's what it means. Gosh, I hope that's what it means. That's what they said it means. And I'm old enough where they could trick me, Tom. But that's what Jacoby Gillespie said that it means. And let's hope something that I wrote and said from FCC Food City Center doesn't get us in trouble with FCC, the other one.
No.
We'll just hope that's not the case.
Technically speaking, they can't get us on. Well, you shouldn't say it. It's only FCC only applies to TV, television.
So good luck.
Whatever's broadcast over airwaves. That's their purview.
So
their
I can stay.
area of regulation.
I'll stay. You stay classy. Beep.
Yeah, let's not do that still. But they can't come after us if it's on the internet.
It could have been anything.
It has to be on TV.
There you go. There you go. We got a lot more to discuss about this game. Obviously, we'll have more portal stuff going on in the next couple of days. We'll discuss that as well. Portal stuff never stops. Josh Heupel's talking tomorrow morning. We'll have some sound from that, and we'll keep talking Tennessee basketball. But for now, we are out of time. We have got to get out of here, and we will pick things right back up here and have tons more to talk about in about 23 hours.